At the height of her fame, Marilyn Monroe wasn't just the most recognizable woman in the world. She was an icon of desire, vulnerability, and raw power. But behind the smile, beneath the platinum curls and breathy voice, she was entangled in secrets far darker than any script she ever read. And at the heart of those secrets were two of the most powerful men in America, President John F. Kennedy and his brother, Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy. Their names would forever be stitched into the shadowy legacy of Monroe's tragic end. It began in the early 1960s when Marilyn's stardom was already eclipsing Hollywood itself. She was no longer just an actress, she was a symbol of post-war America. But off-screen she was spiraling. Addicted to pills, drinking heavily, and increasingly isolated, Marilyn was desperate for love, stability, and validation. That's when she reportedly became romantically involved with John F. Kennedy. Whispers turned into rumors, and rumors into full-blown speculation. The two allegedly met through mutual connections in the entertainment world, and sources close to both parties claimed their chemistry was instant and undeniable. Their alleged affair wasn't just about lust, it was dangerous. JFK was the sitting president of the United States. Monroe, though glamorous, was unpredictable and emotionally fragile. Their rumored trysts at parties, private homes, and elite hotels were the stuff of tabloid legend. But behind closed doors, friends said Marilyn believed it was more than a fling. She thought she was in love. She may have even believed that he would leave Jackie for her. But when JFK distanced himself, reportedly under pressure from his advisors, it didn't end there. Marilyn allegedly then began an affair with his brother, Robert F. Kennedy. Some claim it was retaliation. Others say she saw in Bobby a man more compassionate than Jack. Someone who might actually care for her. Whatever the reason, her involvement with two of the most protected, powerful men in the country would prove catastrophic. As Monroe's life unraveled, so did her grip on discretion. Friends reported that she began making threats, telling people she would go public with her story. Some say she kept a red diary, filled with details about her affairs with the Kennedys and conversations she overheard about government secrets, information that would have been explosive if ever released. Whether that diary truly existed remains one of the most debated elements of her story. On August 5, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Brentwood home. Officially, it was ruled a probable suicide due to an overdose of barbiturates. But from the moment the news broke, the world smelled something foul. The inconsistencies were glaring. No water glass was found near her bedside, despite the ingestion of a fatal dose of pills. Several witnesses, including her housekeeper and psychiatrist, changed their timelines. Some neighbors reported seeing unknown men entering the house that night. And most chillingly, multiple witnesses claimed that Robert Kennedy had visited Monroe just hours before her death, only to later deny being in Los Angeles at all. Even the autopsy report raised red flags. Her stomach was empty, with no evidence of pill residue, suggesting the drugs may have been injected or administered in a different form. Some insiders claimed the scene was staged. Others speculated she was silenced, either because of what she knew, or because she had simply become too much of a liability. For decades, conspiracy theories have flourished. Was she murdered on orders from the Kennedys to protect their careers? Did the CIA or FBI orchestrate her death to eliminate a national security risk? Or was she, tragically, a fragile woman who succumbed to years of mental anguish and addiction, with the Kennedy connection only complicating her narrative posthumously? Regardless of which theory you believe, one thing is certain. Marilyn Monroe didn't just die, she vanished into myth. The blonde bombshell became a cautionary tale, a martyr to fame and political recklessness. Her voice, once full of childlike wonder, became ghostly in retrospect, especially when played over grainy footage of her breathlessly singing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" to JFK at Madison Square Garden. That performance, seductive and public, is now viewed by many as the moment her fate was sealed. To this day, the Kennedy family remains tight-lipped about their connection to Monroe. No confirmation, no denial, just silence. But that silence only amplifies the mystery. In the decades since her death, FBI files have been declassified. Former security personnel have come forward. Some claim they were ordered to destroy evidence. Others allege surveillance tapes existed, capturing her conversations with both Kennedy brothers, now mysteriously lost. Marilyn Monroe was 36 years old when she died. In life, she was adored. In death, she became a puzzle no one could solve. But perhaps that's the cruelest twist of all. The woman who spent her life trying to be seen, trying to be heard, trying to be loved, was buried beneath layers of secrets, half-truths, and conspiracies. Her story wasn't just one of beauty and heartbreak. It was a tale of how power, fame, and secrecy can collide in the most devastating ways. And in the end, all that remains is the legend of Marilyn, the shadow of the Kennedys, and the question no one can answer. Did she really know too much? Marilyn Monroe's death in 1962 was ruled a suicide, but more than 6 decades later, that explanation continues to unravel. And now, thanks to newly surfaced documents, long-forgotten surveillance records, and the quiet confessions of dying insiders, investigators are revisiting a chilling possibility that once seemed like fiction. Marilyn Monroe may have been silenced by the US government, specifically the CIA. Her connections, her pillow talk with the most powerful men in America, and her rumored possession of sensitive political secrets may have made her not just a liability, but a national security threat. The new wave of suspicion was ignited by a 2023 declassification of Cold War-era files, some of which included audio surveillance logs and redacted field reports from CIA operatives stationed in Los Angeles in the early 1960s. At first, the pages seemed mundane, but embedded in the fine print was something staggering. Monroe's name, appearing in a surveillance summary dated August 3, 1962, just 2 days before her death. The document, labeled Priority Level Red, referenced a monitored phone call from Monroe's Brentwood home. In that call, she allegedly spoke angrily to a journalist friend, venting about her recent breakup with Robert Kennedy. She hinted at a secret relationship with both brothers, and more disturbingly, claimed she had overheard government things she wasn't supposed to know. The call, according to the log, was flagged because of keywords like Cuba, nuclear, and Castro. Suddenly, the context of her death no longer seemed like a tragic accident. It started to look like a cover-up. Adding fuel to the fire, a former CIA technical officer, now in his late 80s and terminally ill, recently gave a sealed affidavit to an independent documentary team. In it, he claims that Monroe had become the subject of an unofficial CIA operation, codenamed Project Luna. The operation, he says, was launched after it was learned that Monroe had been recording details in what she called her Red Diary, a journal she supposedly used to document intimate conversations with John and Robert Kennedy, including political strategy, nuclear tensions, and private Oval Office discussions. According to the officer, the diary was viewed by senior intelligence officials as an unacceptable breach, especially during the tense days leading up to the Cuban Missile Crisis. There was a growing fear that Monroe, spurned and emotionally unstable, could become a liability if she chose to go public. Or worse, if the information fell into foreign hands. His affidavit detailed a surveillance plan that was initially non-lethal, monitoring her phone lines, trailing her movements, and intercepting mail. But he claims the operation escalated sharply when Monroe refused to cooperate with federal agents who had allegedly approached her, requesting the return of the diary. He also alleges that on the night of her death, 2 unregistered federal agents were seen entering and exiting her home through the side entrance, wearing gloves and carrying what appeared to be medical equipment. These claims eerily match those of Monroe's former housekeeper, Eunice Murray, who once admitted in a rare interview that strange men had come to the home that night, but later retracted the statement under legal pressure. And it matches the odd timing gaps in police logs, the mysteriously missing phone records, and the testimony of neighbors who reported hearing arguments and seeing unmarked cars outside Monroe's home long before any official 911 call. Then there's the missing diary. Friends swore it existed. Investigators asked about it. Monroe's psychiatrist even mentioned it under oath. But the book, if it was ever real, vanished the night she died. Not a page, not a scrap, was ever recovered. New forensic reevaluations of her autopsy photographs released under court order in 2024 revealed another unsettling anomaly. A team of independent pathologists noted signs of intramuscular injection marks on her lower body, inconsistent with the barbiturate overdose she was said to have taken orally. The team could not definitively conclude foul play, but they noted that multiple pharmacological delivery methods cannot be ruled out. Why would the CIA be involved in any of this? Because Monroe's private access to the Kennedy brothers placed her in the heart of national intelligence vulnerabilities. She wasn't just a glamorous mistress. She was someone privy to conversations that were never meant to leave White House walls. And if she truly had recorded them, and if that diary contained anything close to what insiders now allege, it would have made her a danger, not only to the presidency, but to national security during a time when America was on the brink of nuclear war. Still, there's no smoking gun, no confession, no officially released document that states outright the CIA killed Marilyn Monroe. But the patterns, the anomalies, the mounting trail of circumstantial evidence, all of it paints a picture darker than anyone was willing to accept in 1962.